Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Fantasy Football University, FFU, coming at you yet again in week 13 of the fantasy football season for our big preview show. I am Mr. Bill DeCousis. I am here with Mr. Tom Lang. Mr. Lang, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Three beautiful games with a massive feast on this glorious day.
And three great games, three really,
Yes.
really good games.
Yes.
And not a single bye this week, so we got a full slate of games, and we even got a Black Friday game, which is
Because we need
interesting.
that.
Yes. So we got a lot to get to today. We won't waste too much time up at the top. We'll jump right in. But we just want to give everybody a quick reminder before we jump in, before I forget, all of our must starts and probably starts will be posted in the description of this episode's video on YouTube. So please check us out there. We're very, very happy to have you guys with us.
Yes, yes, and we truly appreciate everybody that does tune into our videos, our full length videos, not just on our TikTok channel. Our TikTok is fantastic. Everybody loves it so much. But we truly appreciate everybody that tunes into our full videos. And if you could please subscribe to our channel, we truly appreciate that.
That's right. So let's jump right in. And again, just a quick reminder. So we got three games on Thanksgiving, one game on Black Friday. So as we always say, for the games leading into Sunday, for all the Thanksgiving games, for the Black Friday game, if you got those players, you get them out of your flex and you put them in the running back or wide receiver slot if it so applies to those players. All right. Let's jump right in, Mr. Lang. All right. Thanksgiving, the first slate, the first game here. Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. Detroit are home favorites, minus 2.5 points. The over under there is 48.5 points. I think that this is going to be Detroit reasserting some dominance here in the NFC North. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember what happened week one. Green
Right.
Bay smothered, like literally smothered. They almost got Dyfus called on them, smothered.
Yeah, and there's no way Dan Campbell, there's no way Dan Campbell lets that smothering go
No.
unanswered. So we got must starts in this game on the Detroit side. You're starting Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not going to get you 60 points in this game, but he's going to have a good game. So you play Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm gonna have to edit this out because there's too
No,
much.
no, I can't edit it. Keep going.
And you play it, and you're playing Amon-Ra St. Brown. On the Green Bay side, I actually don't really care what people are tweeting in and out because of the Emmanuel Wilson situation. Josh Jacobs is most likely going to play. So if Josh Jacobs plays, you play Josh Jacobs. Let's get to probably starts, but I want to come back to that running back thing. Probably starts. I got it after three or four really good games with Jamison Williams. It was a complete fat zero, but it looks like you're probably going to have to play him again. I mean, you don't get the boom without the bust, so you got
Well,
to
I will,
roll.
and I will say though, with Jamison Williams, he does play more in competitive games. He plays better in these competitive games. Games against teams that they should win. And honestly, they were playing from behind against the Giants. He did have a big play called back on a
He did.
flag. So if that wasn't there, then it would have been a dud of a nice donut zero, flanking at three targets for zero, receptions for zero. It would have been, four for one and change. So, but again, it still would have been really bad. He would have had a score on that drive, and it didn't happen. So,
Yeah, and for the same reason, you probably start. We got Jared Goff here. In a game that their implied points is around 26 points. Again, they could have he hasn't really been exploding the last couple of weeks, but I mean, you could probably roll with him, I guess, if you got him at quarterback. Let's just go to other options, and I want to come back to the running back situation. So, should anybody be worried about throwing Josh Jacobs back? Because I think the answer is no. But do you think they'll get spelled a little bit more by Emmanuel Wilson, and then therefore Wilson's like a decent enough? I mean, they're at Detroit, and I actually agree with you. I think Detroit's going to wipe the floor with them in this game. So, is there any consideration there for that, or is it just, hey, Jacobs roll with it? He assumes his role again.
I mean, it's. I feel like it's the same situation that I feel with Bucky Irving. And this is not a lengthy injury, right? But he was out last week for a reason. It is a short week. They may have benched him last week to basically be ready, be right for this game, giving him almost 10 days of rest. It is a knee injury. He is a 27-year-old running back, and not saying that that is old, but it's not young, right? So, for the amount of touches that this guy gets, it is not Christian McCaffrey-esque, but I will say he is touching the ball more on the ground rushing wise. And I would be a little cautious about anticipating a massive, massive game. Detroit's defense, front four has been playing very, very well. And again, this is redemption, and it is at Detroit. So, not saying bench Josh Jacobs. You have to play him, but do not anticipate a RB 1 week.
Maybe adjust your expectations.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, and I actually agree with that. I kind of bring it up because the fantasy community online is obsessed with playing both Jacobs and Wilson this week, and I don't think that's right. I think that you play one of them, whoever's the starter, which is going to be Jacobs this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're playing Gibbs and Montgomery this year. They are the best tandem, and it's not working right now. So,
Right.
it's not going to be a value play if you're going to play both of those guys. You're going to get RB1 numbers combined with two players. Congratulations. You just messed up a roster spot.
Yeah, speaking of Montgomery, we don't have him as a probably start here. It hasn't been that good for him, and I still hold true to our equation that hey, if you think that they're going to smash a team, you play Montgomery, and it turns out they did not smash the Giants. They
No.
didn't. And we think that Detroit's going to win this game. Are they going to smash them? Probably not. I mean, like maybe enough to maybe it's a late, maybe then they finish the game up 10 points or 13 points or something. But it's difficult to play him, and it is a difficult
The
defense in Green Bay.
the problem is he's not receiving, the past two games he had 11 touches, 11 well
Yep.
11 rushing attempts in the past 2 weeks against Philadelphia and the Giants. The 2 weeks prior to that, he had 26 touches. And then the bye happened prior to that. So in the past, it's dwindled. And a lot of it is because, really Gibbs has been a cheat code. He's been really helping them basically get the ball down the field. They may have basically been playing from behind a little bit here and there in more competitive games. They weren't as so much in a competitive game against Washington. But he didn't really have a great week. He had rushing yards, but he didn't score the touchdown that we were anticipating him to score there. So, the problem with Montgomery right now is yes, you may be forced to play him because of, as your RB2 potentially, but he's not an RB2. He's pretty much an RB3. If that, a low end, middle to low end RB3, and you're hoping that he scores a touchdown. If he doesn't score a touchdown, he's getting you anywhere from 4 to 5 points. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
He's the grinder back.
Quick mention of the Green Bay wide receivers. So Jaden Reed has been practicing this week, and all signs are pointing to the fact that he's going to play. I am not excited about playing him in any capacity. I want to see it from him, and also I kind of want to see how the Packers kind of roll with their whole situation there. And also, it's a bad matchup with Detroit, so that's a no for me. However, I think Watson's a pretty decent shot. I know you're a fan of Watson too, so you could do worse in like a flex position or a low
I
end.
will say, for Watson and Dobbs, both of them, they have some really nice player prop for total catches this week. At 3.5 over under. And I'd probably take the over on both of those. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah. So we kind of mentioned all the major options there, and we talked about Jordan Love has already failed us enough times last week, and I actually called out, hey, he's failed us enough. I'm not playing him, and then he failed again. So that's it. He's just complete failing us. I
Yeah.
will point out that maybe after this week, after they have some decent enough matchups with a full slate of wide receivers, maybe we'll reconsider. But we're staying away from him here. So there we go. That's all the relevant options in that game. Let's go to the next Thanksgiving game. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Dallas Cowboys.
This
Kansas
one I'm
City,
excited for.
Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are road favorites minus 3.5 points. The over-under there is 52.5 points. You're just about going to play almost everybody in this game. This is going to be a good game. Must starts for the Chiefs. You're playing Rashid Rice. You're playing Travis Kelce. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. For the Dallas Cowboys, you're playing the whole offense. Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Fergalicious, and Dak Prescott. I think Mahomes.
Listen, listen though, listen.
Oh, go ahead.
I would pump my brakes so much on Javonte Williams. We see what the Kansas City's defense does against running backs running the ball. So you're hoping for some receptions, but um, there's much better talent that has not been productive against this defense. This front four, front six, front eight, whatever it is very, very tough.
This is a good point. However, as a counterpoint, Javonte Williams has performed in he might not have finished top five, but he's performed like running back two range against some of the toughest defenses this year. Philadelphia, just this past like both games against Philadelphia just come to mind right off the top of my head. I think there was like another one earlier in the season. So it's not enough for me to not play him. But your point is well taken against maybe lower your expectations just a little bit. It's hard to sit anybody in a game where it's 52 and
Well,
a half points.
yeah, I mean, well, let me say this. I mean, his rushing receiving yard prop right now is 81 and a half. I probably take the under on that.
You might be right. You running and receiving,
Rushing receiving.
so yards from scrimmage,
Yards
basically.
from scrimming, yeah,
Okay.
it's 81 and a half. I take the under on that 100%.
Okay. Okay. Still, he might
And
end
that's
up in
still
the
a
end
lot of
zone.
yards.
Yeah, he might 80 yards and a touchdown. Fine. Like then that's a perfectly good game. Probably starts. We got one name here, and I was struggling to put other names in here, but we'll get to that. The probably start here is Kareem Hunt. So I recognize that Isaiah Pacheco is back. I don't know how much he's going to cut into that work, but I can't deny 30 touches, 30 carries from Kareem Hunt in the last game, and he just looks good. He's the goal line guy. He's the preferred, like he just works in Andy Reid's system. I think it's so hard to go away from him against the Dallas Cowboy defense. You could probably roll with Kareem Hunt depending on your options. But other options here, Tommy, in a game with this many points, I'd love to try to get more pieces, but it's not been that good for Xavier Worthy. Do you think this is where he turns it around?
I don't know. I mean, you would hope it does because, like, obviously you paid a pretty price for this guy and he hasn't done anything. So, the problem is, I mean, I've actually dropped him in two leagues that I had him. I was holding him to see what happens, and it's not worth it anymore. I kept Ricky Pearsall because he has more upside.
Maybe not so much anymore. We'll get to that game, but
Yeah,
put it this way: somebody else for the Chiefs is going to have a real fantasy relevant game. Is it Worthy? Is it Hollywood?
I don't know.
I suppose you could take your shot there. Um,
I
and I
wouldn't play. I wouldn't play that though. I wouldn't play any of those guys this week.
okay.
It's a great matchup, but it's really tough to plug in somebody that hasn't done anything. You're really playing with fire.
Anything of significance anyway. No, I think that's a fair point. Maybe if you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Actually, I'll call out Worthy where I think there might be guys that you may or may not start. Would you start Watson or Worthy? I think
I'd play Watson.
okay. Okay. I would too. There's some other names I'll throw in there. Which
And
one
the reason
we'll
why I
get to
play
it.
Watson over Worthy is because, he's more of the red zone target guy. He also is going against a still hurt Lions secondary. So he's going to have opportunity.
How about Worthy or Yosivas?
I go Yosivas.
Okay. How about
Yosivas without Higgins, he's basically the wide receiver too, outside of basically, Gesicki and also Fanta Claus are there. But
they
in all
did nothing?
reality, I think, no, but again, it is Joe Burrow back. He has chemistry with some of these players, and I think Yosivas probably can see in the end zone.
Last one, Worthy or Darnell Mooney?
Worthy.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Okay.
play any of them actually.
Okay.
What I would probably do is just take the zero.
Let's get the negative points. I mean, Mooney did, like we talked about on the waiver show. Mooney did have a good game, but basically on the back of one long bomb
That's the
touchdown.
problem.
Although
That's the
the
problem.
Falcons are playing the worst team in football right now this week, so we'll talk about that game. Anyway, we talked about all the relevant players in the Kansas City Dallas game. Let's move on to the last Thanksgiving game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are home favorites -7 points. The over under there is another nice 51.5 points. We got a great Thanksgiving slate. Is gonna be
Yeah,
good
this
week
is going
here.
to hit the over.
All right, must starts on the Cincinnati side. You're playing Chase Brown, you're playing Jamar Chase, and I've got Joe Burrow as a must start in this game. If he's playing, he's a must start. No
Yeah,
questions asked. Yep,
100%. I mean, there is going to be a little bit of a little bit of a shaky spot in the beginning, but I guarantee you he'll probably come out in the first drive, throw an interception, but then he'll basically throw for 3 touchdowns back to back to back drives.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Must starts for the Ravens. Derrick Henry, you're playing him. Zay Flowers, you're playing him. Mark Andrews, you are playing him. Apparently, I was looking this up. So Cincinnati is on pace to have the worst defense against tight ends in the history of the NFL. So
So Isaiah Likely.
I think he is a decent enough shot too. We'll get to that. So you're playing Mark Andrews and you're playing Lamar Jackson. I wanted to ask you before we move on though, is Lamar Jackson fully healthy?
So he came out during practice and he said something about his toe. So he hasn't been playing well. He may have injured his
Not at
toe in
all.
practice. Honestly, I think this is a very, very heavy Derrick Henry game. I mean, we saw what happened last week when they basically just fed Derrick Henry the ball. They won the game. They were losing to the Jets at one point in the game. So
Yeah, which says
then
a
they just
lot.
basically came out and ran the second half. Um, so I think against this defense, the Cincinnati's defense, they have to just run the ball, run it down their throat, and stop getting cute with Lamar Jackson. Let Lamar Jackson find some little pocket pass throws. Don't let him run around the field. If you have to have a double running back set, do it. It is what it is. But Derrick Henry has to get his touches.
Yep. We
And I'm
have
gonna tell you something right now. They get cute. Cincinnati's gonna pull away with this win.
There's a chance that this could be like really competitive. I don't know if Baltimore covers the lines -7 points. I don't know if they cover it. Um, Probably starts. We don't have anybody because we know the guys that we are definitely playing. But other options to me, I only see two other options in this whole game I would consider. The aforementioned Isaiah Likely, if you really want to, take a shot at tight end or whatever, considering how bad Cincinnati is against tight ends and how many points the Ravens have implied, fine. But Yosivas is a perfectly good shot
Oh yeah.
on the Cincinnati Bengals side.
He's
I
not
thought
only he's
I
not
thought he
only
underperformed in the past game, but
Yeah, slightly, but again, that was not Joe Burrow. I mean,
that's true.
Joe Flacco has had his number a couple weeks this year, but Joe Burrow, when there is no Higgins, because we've seen it last year, when there's no Higgins, Yoshivas steps up. But also Gesicki, it's a Gesicki week. Um,
This is a fair
Gesicki,
point.
Gesicki's coming back for injury. I think it's Yoshivas is basically the guy that basically pulls it up.
This is a fair point. Yeah, so that's all the names worth mentioning there. Let's go to the Black Friday game. We've got the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia are home favorites -7 points. The over under there is 44.5 points.
And these tickets in Philadelphia are not half off.
No, they're not. I think the Eagles completely dismantle and destroy the Bears here. I think it's not close. I would take Philadelphia all day long.
Yeah, I'm playing the Eagles defense in 3 leagues this
I don't
week.
blame you. Must starts in this game. We have none for Chicago. We'll get to that. Must starts, a lot of Eagles, though. You're playing the Eagles defense. Let's go. Not that many points for the Bears implied. You're playing Saquon Barkley. You're playing AJ Brown. You're playing Dallas Goedert. And you're playing Jalen Hurts. Probably starts. I mean, we've got Devontae Smith here, but we have an injury consideration. I mean, it's been weird information out of Philadelphia on this week. So if Smith is out and bump up even AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert even more than you would have.
Mhm.
But if he's in, I guess he's a probably play. He's been good, right? So yeah, go ahead and keep rolling with him.
Again, we've I've said it a number of times, a number of weeks, even said it last year in our conversations as well too. When AJ Brown is performing, that means Devonta Smith is not performing unless he gets one big play. It just is what it is. They when they throw the ball, they really atypically hyper target a player. Goddard has been the hyper targeted in the middle kind of throw, short yardage, and scoring those touchdowns. And I think this is translating over to Brown. Um, divaing his way to catch the ball and to be have more scripted plays to him. This is really hurting Barkley's production, though. This team chemistry is just so weird. It's such a weird dynamic right now. But I'm hoping, because honestly, being a Giants fan, it's tough to see the Eagles prosper. And go crazy and just throw up 1,000 points. But honestly, this is not this team. This team needs to get better and get right. And I think Barkley, this has to be a get right game for
I
Barkley.
I see that here. I think Barkley completely kills them here. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Other probably start here. I mean, it was really like I wanted to put nobody, but I guess for the sake of our audience, I've got Roma Dunze here as a probably start, and I think he might be the only player I'm even remotely like. I hope he just gets there with targets. I mean, because I'm not really interested in any other Bears player here, and
Eh,
Roma Dunze hasn't been the best as of late. But I mean, yeah, let's talk other options here. Yeah, let's stay on the Chicago side. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say let's continue on the Chicago side because I really still feel DJ Moore is getting more acclimated to the offense. I mean, he's got 7 targets last week, 5 receptions, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he was looked in the end zone for those plays. And you said it last week, right? DJ Moore, he cleared a full practice, right?
yes,
Last
this is
week was
true.
the last week was the full practice week. This week is another full practice week.
Well,
Chemistry is back, maybe, right?
maybe, but you know what? Maybe then I'll revise to be like, hey, if I don't want to play any receiver, then it's both of them. You know what I mean? Then I'm not going to give deference to
I'm telling you
Odunze
something
then.
right now. You have to play because this team's gonna be playing from behind. The way that this game should be scripted is this
Fair.
team's playing from behind. That means fantasy trash points. It is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Well, then you judge your options as you have them. But I agree exactly with what you said. And yes, I'm encouraged by what DJ Moore did last time. Hopefully he could keep that going. He's got to keep some consistency. Uh,
The full practice report basically gives me a little bit more hope that this is going to continue.
Running backs, though, I mean, Monangai has been good, and Swift has, like had some minor injury situations. Guess what? Both of them, I don't want to play them here. I
No,
really don't. Like they're walking into a wall here
this
going into
team,
Philadelphia after a
this
loss.
this team knows DeAndre Swift's kind of
What he
motion.
can and
They know,
can't do.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So they got him by the horns. I was going to say a different word. They got him by the horns, and I think if anybody has an opportunity to do something, Kyle Monangai. But again, I don't see anything. I probably just sit both of those guys. If you're really, really trying to win this week, I would not play those two guys.
absolutely not. It's gonna be bad. The only other option just to mention is Colston Loveland. And I think Colston Loveland can have a nice end to the season. I've been encouraged by what I've seen as of late. Guess what? Not here. It's I'm hands off, and then therefore I'm hands off on Caleb Williams. I mean, if we don't feel good about any of the options, we think the Eagles are going to smash them. No, then it's a no for me on Caleb.
Mhm.
Maybe check him for the rest of the season, but not here. Yeah. Eagles are going to run away with that one. Let's go to the Sunday slate. Here we go. Top of the list. We got the LA Rams at the Carolina Panthers. The Rams are road favorites, minus 10.5 points. The over under there is 45.5 points. Yeah, so you start your Rams defense. This is going to be another smashing here. You play the Rams defense. You're playing Kyren Williams. You're playing Puka. You're playing Javonte, and you're playing Matt Stafford, who is continuing to run away with the MVP race, Tommy. So I'm not. I don't see that slowing down. I don't see it slowing down at all.
It's unbelievable.
On the Carolina side, we got one must start for you, and that's Tet McMillan. He could probably keep it going. He's super talented, despite whatever Bryce is throwing at him in his way. We have no probably starts in this game, which is notable considering that there's some running backs that are being excluded there. So let's talk about them. General options here. Um, I know that Rico was doing fancy, stuff on Twitter or X or whatever you call it of his, displeasure with how he was used in the game. Um, I don't know if I agree or disagree with him. How do you feel about Rico? How do you feel about Chuba for this game and maybe even rest of season? Like,
I mean, if a player that was brought onto the team for a 1 week for a 1 year ticket, I just don't know if that's the smart approach.
That's true.
especially with, a guy that they've paid that wanted to come back and basically was an RB1 for that roster. He's gonna get his share. It just is what it is. The team's not just gonna let it sit. This isn't Kenny Galladay season. This is a guy that got paid that wants to play. So Rico Dowdle is going to be splitting carries, and he just needs to take it and do what he can with it. It is what it is.
I mean, let me give him a point in his favor. He is super explosive, and he's been more explosive than Chuba as of late. But maybe to your point, Chuba was, not recovered yet from his injury
Correct.
situation.
But then they're also going against the Rams.
Yeah, that's sort of I think they're both going to have a bad game in this game. But if you're going to start one, honestly, I would say probably go with Chuba. Sorry.
Uh,
Probably go with Rico.
yeah,
But
but you're
like I said,
you're
I don't
not.
want to play either of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna start Rico, you're anticipating anywhere from about 8 to 12 touches, and that's tough because he's been getting, in the teens. He's been getting 16 to 20 touches per game, easy. And he is a guy that the more touches he receives, just like kind of like Derrick Henry, more touches he receives, the more production he gets. It just flows.
Yep.
So
Only other option I wanted to mention here, he was a big darling on the waiver wire was Colby Parkinson. I think he's a decent option. I think that there's lots of good tight ends you could play, but if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, you could do way worse than him. He's been good the last 3 weeks. No reason to think he won't maybe keep it going in a game that they're going to completely destroy Carolina.
mm,
So decent shot there. Let's go to the next game. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are home favorites minus 2.5 points. The over under there is 43.5 points. And before I say anything else, we don't have any more information than you guys do on Baker Mayfield. I think that they're going to make it basically up to a game time decision whether he plays. I don't know how much the line is affected by whether he plays or it's Teddy Bridgewater. But I think that the way that I think about some of the options are different. So let's get into that. Must starts. Because of this, we got no must starts on the Tampa Bay side, but Arizona, we got some must starts. Michael Wilson. I don't care if Harrison comes back. You are playing Michael Wilson. You have to after what he's been doing thus far. It's been too good. It's been too good. And actually, I actually am almost certain that Harrison's not going to play the way that Gannon is being horribly vague about it. If Harrison's in, then I guess you play him also. I actually should have added him to the show doc there. But you're also playing Trey McBride. So as long as Jacoby Brissett keeps supporting all these guys, you're
yeah.
playing him.
Well, the more I hear though, it sounds like Harrison may be sitting another week.
You might be right. You might be
Yeah,
right. But I just
it's
don't. I
it's
don't know why Gannon can't just say it. But
because he doesn't know. I mean, he just may not
he
know.
knows.
He
He
may
knows.
not know based on health reasons. I mean, it is, we are recording this late Wednesday night.
Right.
Just may not know. I mean, maybe we'll know on Thursday on Thanksgiving, but I know that teams have an early practice before, they have family get together and whatnot. But um, we'll find out. But I feel like Harrison there may not be a rush team wise to get him back right now.
That's a fair point. I'm basically operating that he's not going to play. So yeah, just operate
Same, and
from
it's
there.
tough because this is the time that you need this guy. But honestly, I'd rather if you're in a position where you could find another route, fantasy wise, for another week, another replacement for another week, it may be smart, for them to sit him because then you're getting into week 14. Week 15 is the first round of the playoffs, and you want a healthy guy that's not going to miss any weeks. So
Let's go to probably starts. So with the Baker Mayfield situation, we've got Amika Egbegbue, as Gronkowski would say, Amika Buka. We got him as a probably start. Now I do want to point out that even with Baker, it's not been that good as of late.
no,
But it's hard to sit a guy like that. So you could probably roll with him, even if it's Teddy. I think it's still a probably start. So adjust your expectations accordingly.
well, and the more I hear as well too, Bucky Irving, potentially he practiced in full on this past week, but
Yeah.
again, I just don't see it being a full throttle, 100% him. I'm telling you something right now. You got another 2 weeks before the playoffs start that you can basically pretty much start um, Tucker, and because Tucker's going to get touches, and this is a really nice matchup for him.
Yeah, we've got Bucky Irving as a probably start here. If Bucky Irving doesn't play, I agree with you. I think Sean Tucker's a good
Bucky
probably
Irving, I
start.
think, is going to play this week.
But you're
He's a
saying no matter if Bucky Irving is in, you think
Yes,
Tucker's
because of the situation. I really feel that Bucky Irving being in there, that means that probably that Baker is probably going to be sitting, and they're going to have to lean higher on the run. It's going to be about a 60-40, maybe 65-35 kind of run the pass split. And Irving, after being out this long, is not taking the full-fledged. So
Yep.
Tucker, White's going to get some touches, but White's not their running back, right? White is a pass catching back. It's been very clear.
Okay.
So Tucker is somebody I could say, without a doubt, I'd feel comfortable flexing against this defense.
Okay. And I've also got Baker Mayfield here as a probably start. And honestly, I was just thinking about that based on what you're saying. Like, I think that I would be petrified to play him, even if they declare him in, because one, maybe he gets, fell on by somebody from Arizona, although he's one of the toughest quarterbacks in the league. I mean, maybe he sticks it through, but
Yeah, I mean,
play with
I'm on the
caution.
same. I'm on the same page with you. I'm not even if he plays, I'm not comfortable playing him. I'm actually more comfortable playing Brock Purdy against Cleveland's defense than I am against Mayfield this week.
I actually, in one of the leagues we're in together, I picked up Tua Tagovailoa as a emergency quarterback play instead of him, and I like his matchups at least, given what other crap I could have thrown out there.
Hey, New Orleans defense is playing pretty well. So
They are, but again, if my other options are like Cam Ward or something, then maybe not.
yeah, Cam Ward's been playing okay since the
Yeah,
bye.
let's talk other options in this game. So I the Arizona running back situation that we love talking about so much. So I'll make it easy, Tommy. If Benson's back, you playing Benson and forgetting Bam Knight and Carter.
Yep.
Okay. If Benson
But
is if
Bam Knight is gonna still get some touches, not the same touches he was receiving
right.
without Benson, but yeah, for sure.
if Benson is not, then what? Knight and Carter are both decent plays.
Bam is the guy.
Bam is the guy, even though it was totally 50-50 Bam and Carter.
Bam is the guy.
Okay. 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 Other options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You could always throw in Tez Johnson. He might get that, 80-yard touchdown. He's been, he was all right in the pass game because he ended up with the touchdown. So throw him in if you want an option. Would you rather play Tez Johnson or Xavier Worthy?
Tez.
Okay, even if it's Teddy Bridge over troubled waters as the quarterback.
Yeah, it's gonna make me sick, probably. Yeah.
Okay, because you're just mad because Xavier Worthy has completely let you down this year. That's why.
No, I never really was a worthy guy until basically I traded for him for dog poop. Um and I thought that it was gonna be something that could play well, and it didn't play well. So,
Okay.
I completely faded on him.
And stay away from the Cade Otton train. That train has come to a complete stop. So you can move on from there. So there we go. Let's go to the actually before we move on. So therefore, I just wanted to make sure I understood this so we have a full thing. If Bucky Irving is in, you're okay also playing Sean Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And not Rashad White.
Yes, sir.
If Bucky Irving is not in, do you play Tucker and White?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to the next game. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville are road favorites, -6.5 points. The over under there is 41.5 points. And you know what? I want to call this. I think the Titans have a chance to upset the Jaguars here
So why wouldn't you play Cam Ward?
because that's a good point because it's like maybe I'm like hedging my bets. Like
Listen,
maybe I'm just
Cam
kind of
Ward, Cam Ward last week he was a number 4 quarterback against the Seattle Seahawks last week. He threw for 42 times, 42 attempts, 256 yards and a touchdown.
well,
I mean,
apparently they don't need him to do anything if Kamara DK is going to take, touchdown after touchdown returns.
hey, 37 yards on the ground with a touchdown as well too.
Yeah, no, I have a strong feeling that the Tennessee might upset them. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen here. And I really have Like I don't think the Jaguars are as good as advertised. But um
I highly disagree.
well, and just on that question, it's like, okay, the line here suggests that Tennessee is going to put up 17 and a half points, and the line in the next game suggests that Miami's going to put up 24. I'm going to play Tua. I'm happily going to play Tua over Cam Ward. Like it's not to me, it's not close.
New
So
Orleans defense is much better than Jacksonville's defense, to be
it is.
honest.
Well, we'll get to that game. So yeah, I already mentioned the line. So therefore, by the letter of the line, we got the Jaguars as a must-start defense. But like we said, I mean, I'm openly hedging my bets saying I think the Titans could upset the Jaguars. It doesn't mean I'm not starting the Jaguars defense. So, count that for what you will. Yeah, and you're playing Travis Etienne. We have no must starts on the Tennessee side. Probably starts. We got one name for you. Doctor Strange. So right coming off the waiver wire, what was his line in the past game, Tommy? 5 for 5? I think
Five
that's
for
what
5.
505, and he bought himself a Subway a foot long. So I like him, and like not just for his catching ability, his blocking ability too. I think he's a good
And,
probably start right off the waiver
and
wire.
he's a magician. It's wild.
Absolutely, yeah. He stars in a couple movies. So other options here, Tommy, I we don't have any updated information whether Brian Thomas is going to play in the game.
I
I'm
don't
going.
think it matters anymore.
You don't think it matters? You're playing Washington and Myers.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I think they're both decent shots too. I think it kind of does matter if he's back in the game. But I will say on the Brian Thomas thing, if he's back in the game, I'm not playing Brian Thomas in this game. I want to see it from him. I want to see how the game flow goes. I want to see how he works with Washington, who's leveled up, and now Myers, who's really leveled up, who keeps getting more and more involved into the offense. On the Tennessee side, um, man, I think it's difficult to play anybody here. I mean, Pollard and Spears, I know you're going to say throw in Spears if you need an emergency running back, right? Like, it's not pretty.
Well, if you think that they're going to win, then yes, Spear should have a nice game.
I'm just saying, I think the Titans have a chance to win this game. And if I like,
And the Titans defense is not that bad.
no, it's not. No, it's not. But
It's
again,
not
it's
that
like,
bad. It's
I don't
bad,
know
but
if
it's not that bad.
I don't know if I'm willing to bet, the playoffs of my fantasy team on certain guys. I'm just calling out the whole game. And let's take a mention of, kind of the aforementioned Chimera DK. So
All right,
he
if you were in a position to play, and we'll keep it in this game.
sure
If you were in a position to play Tootin or Spears, who would you play? Full point PPR.
Spears. Yeah,
Sta
Tajay Spears.
okay, standard. Just no PPR. I still go Spears.
If those are my options in the it's to right? Because standard means that
I
like
still go
you
Spears.
really want to try to get a touchdown. And I think
You know
is
why? I still go Spears because I could see Spears scoring the touchdown higher than Tootin this week.
I would love to try to find better options. But
Hey, he might be stuck somewhere.
yeah. Well, that's how low the barrel is there with Pollard and Spears. Pollard, like again, like Pollard's like your 6 to 8 points. Spears is like your 7 to 10. So I mean, pick your poison there. So with the Ridley being out and the Iron Manor in and out of the lineup, and like his ridiculous return situation this year, Chimera DK is in consideration. I think it's pretty deep, and I think take your shots as they are. But considering how, excuse me, considering how good he's been, and on all aspects, you got to remember he was actually drafted higher than Iron Manor. I didn't even realize that until this week. So if you need a deep league shot, Chimera DK is there. Um, and I don't know. Keep an eye on Gunnar Helm. I think his name is. Keep an eye on him. He's performing decently well up to now, but I wouldn't be playing him in this game. So the only other question mark really to talk about, Tommy, is Trevor Lawrence, and I've got him. We identified him as a decent streaming option this week.
Mhm.
So go for it. Would you rather play him or Tua?
Based on how he's been performing, I'd rather play Trevor Lawrence. He has more talent around him. And right now, yes, Tua has Darren Waller coming back this week with also obviously a great Waddle out there, but it's tough. It's really tough to fade against Trevor Lawrence, who's been productive the past couple weeks.
Okay. No, I agree with you, and I think Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. he has to show some level of consistency. But in a game like this,
He
you could
had one bad game in the past 7 weeks. One bad game in the past 7 weeks, not including the bye. So, one bad game. And honestly, I'll take that one bad game against Houston and not anticipate that to happen against Tennessee.
okay, okay. Yeah, it might end up being that way. Let's talk about the next game. We've got the New Orleans Saints at the Miami Dolphins. Miami are home favorites, -5.5 points. The over under there is 42.5 points. So yeah, the Saints are looking more. The Saints are being competitive this year, even though the record says otherwise. But given the line, we got the Dolphins as a must-start defense. Other must-start for the Dolphins: Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. And I just wanted to point out, Tommy, you mentioned Darren Waller. I don't think he's coming back this week. Um, in a miracle outside shot, if he is back this week, then basically he's probably must or probably start territory. But I don't think he's back this week. Other must starts, we've got one name for you in the Saints side, and that's Chris Olave, Mr. Target Machine himself. Let's go, Chris Olave. Probably starts. We got two Saints for you. We got the guy, our waiver wire darling, right off our thumbnail picture, Devin Neal. Let's
Who
go.
is listed as questionable?
I think he'll be fine. And
Yeah.
we got Juwan Johnson, who I couldn't have agreed with Tommy more. I think Juwan Johnson could be a league winner this year. They need him if they're going to do anything, and the Saints are staying competitive. They want to show, they want to try to build some momentum going into the offseason. So Juwan Johnson is a good probably start. Other options here, Tommy, is there a single other Saint you'd be willing to play?
So, in one league, I am potentially leaning to play because of the situation and
Oh, I don't want to
because
hear it.
I know, but because of the touches he's receiving,
Ugh.
Taysom Hill.
Ugh.
He's gonna get some snaps at quarterback. He's gonna get some snaps at tight end. He's gonna get some snaps at running back. It just I don't know how I could pass that opportunity. Um, you know, in that league, I have a couple injured tight ends that I basically have been, streaming, and it is a standard league, no points per reception, so why not? That might be a nice start for me to basically potentially get, anywhere from 10 to 12 touches on the ground and maybe roll into the end zone for a touchdown. So I think honestly, Neal is not guaranteed to get the red zone touches. It's going to be Taysom Hill. Taysom
Maybe.
Hill, Taysom Hill's that guy that basically hoards that stuff. So, Neal could, break off a 70-yard run, get stuck on the 1 yard line, and guess who's falling into the end zone? Mr.
Maybe.
Taysom.
Although we had a whole conversation together, and you walked our audience through that you think Taysom is a shell of his former self. You think
No,
he's lost it,
he definitely is, and he's definitely lost a step, but this is a shot that I'm willing to take this week against Miami.
None of the guys that we had slated as probably starts. You can, I guess maybe you can't get them. Maybe.
No, unfortunately, in that league, everybody and their moms basically steal quarterbacks and tight ends for some reason, onesie positions. Well, I'm here stealing all the running backs.
Okay. Well, they've been stealing all the tight ends. We should call Dyfus on them. So, so I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, if it's an emergency play, fine. So yeah.
It's a heavy emergency.
And there's not a single other player I would want to play on the Dolphins either. We named all, like, it's just the consolidation of production there.
I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna love this. Like next Tuesday, we jump on this call and we come back and be like, Taysom Hill's 51-point game happens again this year.
I actually I listened to what you said this past week, and I think those days are behind him. I think he might be able to roll in the end zone, and like, great, he'll get you maybe 7 to 9 if he gets in the end zone.
I'll take 20 points.
I don't think he's going to get 20. I think if you'll be lucky if he gets in the end zone, but hey, you're taking the shot. That's fine.
Taking that shot.
Yeah, no other options to mention for the Dolphins, but like I said, I'm actually streaming Tua in a league because I actually got hit by the Baker thing. I needed an emergency play there, and more than likely I'm going to play Tua because I'm really petrified about Baker. I think you could do way worse. Between Tua and Trevor, I guess I'd lean Trevor, but they're both good streaming options. We called them out on the waiver show. Let's talk about the next game. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. San Francisco are road favorites, -5.5 points. The over-under there is a paltry 36.5 points. This line has dropped like 5 full points in the whole game. Now we've also got weather concerns in this game. So we got both defenses as must starts, both running backs as must starts. So McCaffrey and Judkins, let's go. And the only other must start in this game is George Kittle. That's it. Because of the line and because of this game, like I don't think Shador's going to do anything. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to do anything. I think the game, you'll be lucky if they hit 30 total points in this game. Myles
Yeah.
Garrett's going to sack Purdy 19 times, and the collective San Francisco team is going to intercept and sack Shador 19 times. I don't want to play any of the wide receivers for San Francisco. I don't want to play the tight ends for Cleveland. I don't want to play anybody else in this game. Can you defend playing anybody else in this game?
Like I said earlier, I'm like almost forced to play Purdy this week.
Any other option, man?
I no, I just there's not the options. I
Tua.
literally no, I am not doing it.
What? You're not going to play Tua over
No,
Brock Purdy in this game. The
nope,
over-under is 36.
no. I'll maybe find another route, but it's going to be tough to drop a quarterback in Mayfield or Purdy, which is going to have to happen.
Drop Purdy and pick up Tua.
No,
And fine, fine. To each his own. You make your own. You make your own decisions. One thing I was mentioning, like I kind of mentioned in the waiver show. So I had picked up I had kind of was pairing up the Jaguars and the Browns because they tended to have good matchups on off weeks that they didn't. I dropped the Jaguars because I don't need them. The Browns are going to have a great defensive week this week, and they got a good one next week. So yeah, you don't need that when you got the Browns defense, and we'll see how they go. We'll check out their matchups as they go farther, but the next 2 weeks the Browns are really good. So there we go.
Mhm.
Don't play anybody else in this game, including Brock Purdy. Next game, we've got the Atlanta Falcons against the worst team in the world, the New York Jets. The Falcons are road favorites, -2.5 points. The over under there is 39.5 points. Johnny's of the opinion that the Jets could make this competitive in this game. I don't know. I don't know. I know that the must starts, you're playing the Falcons defense and you're playing Bijan Robinson.
Johnny's having a fever dream right now.
He might be. I think that the Jets are they're so bad. Probably starts in this game. So you could probably roll with Breece Hall because there's really no other solid options left. So you go ahead and roll with him unless you got really better options magically. And you could probably roll with Kyle Pitts. He did not have a good game the past game. But in a game where, Atlanta's going to try to go in, they might throw the ball a little bit, and Drake London is out. Worst options to Kyle Pitts, you could roll with him again. Speaking of Drake London being out, so let's go to general options here. So, Tommy, we hate the play so much, but I won't deny that Darnell Mooney is a shot. I know you and I don't like it, but it is a shot, right? We have to point it out.
It's a shot.
Yeah, it's a
I
shot.
just don't think that they need to take that shot because they're going to be able to run the ball all day.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Do you think that they end up just being yeah, I guess I'm just agreeing with what you're saying. It just ends up being Bijan all day long and maybe Kirk throws it 18 times and that's it.
Well, when you think it's Bijan all day long, it's probably going to be some Algier as well too. Algier's going to hoard 2 touchdowns away from Bijan this week.
You think, man,
Yeah.
that'll make everybody happy.
Yep.
Um quick
I think Algier is a great RB2 spot this week.
yeah. Don't play Kirk Cousins. Quick mention on the Jets side. So, Mechie's had 2 good games in a row. Tyrod Taylor has been commanding a functioning offense at the very least. So keep an eye on that for full PPR leagues. Mechie could be a decent enough option. Um,
Uh, I honestly I favor Adonai Mitchell over Mechie this week. I mean, but again, there's no way you're playing either one of those guys with no buys.
it's hard to. Maybe people are, full PPR. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers who are out. Like maybe they got a Harrison or
Well, let me
something.
ask you this. If you got Tez Johnson, you've been rolling with Tez Johnson because he's been productive with Baker Mayfield. Do you still roll with Tez Johnson this week or do you play Adonai Mitchell?
Anything other than full PPR, I think it's easy Tej Johnson for me. Full PPR, I would consider Mechie. I would consider it. Yeah, just a thought. Um, but no, if Tyrod Taylor is going to command an offense in which guys are going to be viable, keep an eye on how that goes there. Maybe it, and also by the way, it's weird to hear you say that. I know you're a fan of Mechie. I mean, this has been years in a row where you liked him. You know, he had the cancer
Yeah,
situation
no,
a
no,
couple
no.
years ago.
I am, and I love the story. I love John Metchie's story. I love the player himself as well too. Um, but I do think that there's more talent around basically the pass catcher in Adonai Mitchell. I think he's more of a speedster. He's going to, he's been dropping the ball. He's been getting more targets, but he hasn't been catching the ball nearly as much. But I think, Adonai Mitchell kind of like is a Raheed Shaheed-esque kind of player where he could have a big, big, big play that gets you some massive fantasy points. And honestly, the Jets need that when they'll be playing from behind against Atlanta.
I agree with that, but see, therefore, maybe his PPR value isn't as much. But this will be an interesting game to see how that goes. Next game, we've got the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis are home favorites, -4.5 points. The over/under there is 44.5 points. Here's another game that could be an upset. Houston's been good, man. They've been, dominating via defense, and I mean, it could be another game like that. It
Do
must start. Yeah, go
Do
ahead.
you do you, I mean, obviously we haven't spoken about any of these players yet, but would you feel comfortable throwing in CJ Stroud if he is healthy?
If I don't think he's going to play, but if he is playing, give me options about who I would play him over.
Purdy.
Pur Purdy, yes. Tua, no. But Purdy, yes. To me, that's
Well,
not a. To me, it's not. There's
don't
nothing that could
even
get me to.
bring the name Tua up for me again because I'm not digging that grave with you.
Fine. The road to where is paved with good intentions, but I there's nothing that could get me to play Purdy this week in that weather again away at the Browns defense. Nothing could get me to do it. But back to the Texans Colts here. Must starts in this game. You're playing Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully he has a bounce back. Although it's a tough defense. Doesn't matter. So you're rolling with Taylor, and you're playing Ty Warren. On the Texan side, you're playing Nico Collins. Let's go. Hopefully he has a bounce back himself. Probably starts in this game. We've identified both defenses as probably starts in this game. A special mention to the Texans because the Colts implied points is 24.5 points, but I mean, the Texans made the Bills look anemic. So keep an eye on that. You might just roll with just good defense, as simple as that. And the Colts, especially because the line. Other probably starting this game, we've got Woody Marks. I mean, after what the Chiefs did to them, it's hard to walk away from such a talented rookie on that team. So you could probably roll with Woody Marks. And Michael Pittman, Tommy, it's been a bit of a letdown as of late for Michael Pittman. I get it. He's a probably start, but are you predicting a bit of a bounce back here, or do you think they just continue to spread it around?
I mean, I hope it's a bounce back because he's been so productive through the year. And honestly, I also want to see Alec Pierce have a nice bump back up as well too, because last week against Kansas City, we knew Kansas City's defense was no joke. Um, and I've been talking about it all season.
A
Um,
lot of Colts had a bad game against
yeah,
Kansas City
yeah.
there.
I mean, Pierce went 2 for 1 for 26 yards. So he had one reception for 26 yards. So I think Houston is pretty much almost equal to, if not better, of a rush defense, but their secondary is not the same as the secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. So
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but they're both good defenses. They're both good defenses. Yeah. So I mean, to that
and
point,
again, though, it is a divisional game. Divisional teams know more about the players that they play against. They know some of their maneuvers and whatnot. So, this could be a nice bounce back game for both wide receivers in Pierce and Pittman.
uh, yeah. Well, let's get to other options here. So. I think I might have a difference of opinion. I like Alec Pierce, but I'd be scared about playing him here against that defense. But if you feel a little better, would you play Pierce or Worthy?
Pierce.
Okay. Pierce or Yosivas?
Yoshivas.
Okay. Okay. Um, I wouldn't play Downs here. If I'm going to play another Colts receiver, it's going to be Pierce. But other options for the Texans. So I recognize that we've had some nice stuff coming out of Christian Kirk and Jaden Higgins. Would you take a shot on either one of them in this game? I mean, it's
No,
pretty far down the list here.
no. This needs to be a Nico Collins game. He needs to be bouncing back.
Okay. Okay. And I guess you could take a shot on Dalton Schultz if you want, although that train kind of ended this past week. Although the Bills really shut down tight ends, so maybe if you think he has to bounce back, go ahead and you could roll with Schultz.
And
Um,
Jaden Higgins really was a recipient of the injury for Collins last week. So
yep.
with the healthy Collins he's going to command targets. Higgins is not going to get 9 full targets. He's probably going to get anywhere from 5 to 7 targets. Collins will receive those 10 plus targets.
Quick convo on Daniel Jones. So he's not in our muster, probably starts in this game. But so I guess he's in, I guess, quote, the next tier streaming category, whatever you want to say. I mean, would you play Daniel Jones? I know you're going to say Daniel Jones instead of Tua, but would you play Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence?
Uh, so I probably would play Trevor Lawrence this week over Daniel Jones, and I'm probably going to see 16-ish points from Daniel Jones this week. When it comes down to a 6 points per touchdown league, where Trevor Lawrence in a 6 points per touchdown, you're probably going to see close to 20.
The Texans have shut down every single quarterback this year.
Yeah.
If for every Josh Allen, yada yada down the line, Lamar Jackson, etc. So this is I would rather play him than Purdy, but it should try to find an alternative if you can.
I mean,
Uh,
when Daniel Jones played against the Los Angeles Rams, he was quarterback 26 finish, and then so that was his worst game of the season there.
that's true. Although if Adonai Mitchell hadn't dropped the ball at the 1 yard line, maybe it would have been different. But
Well,
you know,
that too, but then they
yeah,
would have won the
I
game.
I think it's not going to be. I'd play Tua over him, but you judge your options as you have it. Let's go to the next game. We got the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle are home favorites, minus 11.5 points. The over under there is 41.5 points. I think this is a game where the Seahawks just completely destroy them. I don't know how Minnesota scores here. So must starts in this game. You're playing the Seahawks defense. You're playing JSN and must start. We've got Sam Darnold himself in a revenge game against the team that decided to let him go, which I am sure they're so regretting at this exact moment right now. Yeah, they're going to absolutely kill them, and they're going to want to show Darnold off. So
Hmm.
he's going to have a good game. Um, Probably starts in this game. This is where we've got Justin Jefferson now, Tommy. Sorry, everybody. It is what it is. What can we tell you? Whether it's McCarthy or Bromner, whoever's starting in this game, like it's just hopefully he gets maybe 6 catches for 58 yards. Maybe he gets a touchdown and that's it. I mean, that's what we've got one of the best receivers in football reduced to now. So,
Yep, it's
and
terrible.
it's terrible. And to quote Tommy from the waiver show, there's not a single other pass catcher in Minnesota I'm willing to even consider until Jefferson can do it
Yeah,
himself. Like,
and then we've been getting a lot of comments on a short that I cut for the Jefferson or sorry, the Addison conversation and dropping Addison. And yeah, we agree. We would drop Addison. Now,
full agreement.
let me just put it this way though. Drop Addison for an opportunity,
Yeah,
right? So if you're not going to just drop them to drop them, you drop them to pick somebody up. If you're going to drop them just to drop them, that's not the way to play fantasy football. You're hoping that Addison in the next couple of weeks is going to be have an opportunity. You don't want to have to fight to get him, but if you have somebody out there that's going to be able to perform now, and you could put him in your lineup for the Week 14 bye or injuries to occur, like that's what we're talking about. We're not just saying drop these guys because to drop them. If again, you need to find somebody that's going to be a better asset than what these guys are playing at, and they're not. These guys are not good assets. Same thing with kind of like Godwin. Godwin's in the same predicament. A bad quarterback situation right now. Um, not fully healthy. Why have him on your lineup unless you're looking for upside? So
right. Yeah, and to bolster that point, like I mean, who would you have rather have in your roster? Jordan Addison or Devin Neal, who you would have been picked up this week? Christian Watson, who you might have been able to pick up this week. Like guys who are going to do something and not just be sitting there because they're a name.
Correct.
So yeah, Justin Jefferson's probably start, but it's just hopefully he can put it together. We got one other probably start in this game, and that's Ken Walker. And I was actually very close to putting Charbonnet also as a probably start, but I think Ken Walker's explosiveness might come to more fruition in this game. But judge it if you think. I mean, I think both are fine, I guess, to throw in. So speaking of other options, there we go. The aforementioned Charbonnet. Tommy, we said it last week as well. There's no way JSN is going to be the only pass catcher to have value, but good luck determining if it's going to be Cup, Horton, Shaheed, or Barner, right? So
True.
pick your poison there if you think you can, clairvoyant your way into determining who has a good game.
Anything to make Sam Darnold have a good week.
Yep. To Minnesota, I mean, we just explained it. There's not a single other pass catcher we're willing to throw in. Nobody. However, would you be willing to play and, hold your breath and play Aaron Jones here?
I think he's the only one that I feel comfortable with playing over. Like, say if I had Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson, and I'm willing to bench one of those guys, I'd probably play Aaron Jones based on the touches.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, I know about that.
It's the Seattle Seahawks defense. I think they're just going to kill them. I don't
They
know.
gotta, they gotta be, they gotta do something somehow.
Would you play Aaron Jones or Tyrone Tracy?
Aaron Jones.
Okay. Okay. Coming from a Giants fan. There it is. Let's go to the next game. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Buffalo are road favorites minus 3.5 points. The over under there is 46.5 points. Should be a good game too. Must starts in this game. We got James Cook and we got Josh Allen. On the Pittsburgh side, we've got Jalen Warren, beast himself. Let's go. Probably starts though. This might shock a lot of you guys. Probably start. Let's go. Khalil Shakir. Let's go. Back to being a
My
target
dude.
guy. Please don't fail us in a time where we're believing in you now. Please don't fail us. And to me, this is a probably start regardless of what happens with Dalton Kincaid. And actually, I think Dalton Kincaid's going to be out. I don't care what the Q says on your ESPN app. Other probably starts in this game. Tommy, how do you not play Ken Gainwell? I think this is going to be a duel. I mean, we talked about it in the waiver show, right? Like we're going to have two relevant running backs, right?
Yeah. I see it happening. See it happening here.
I I agree, and probably start DK Metcalf. I got it. There's nowhere else we could put him, Metcalf. He's not must, and he's not in general options. But please sell him to me. Make me feel better about Metcalf, please.
Well, I mean, he's been playing well. Aaron Rodgers is not. I mean, I think he'll play this week. I mean, do you think he plays this week?
I This week I don't know. I knew he wasn't going to play last week. This week
Yeah.
I legit don't know.
I mean, I would say this: if Mason Rudolph is the quarterback, he was looking for DK, because that's pretty much the best receiver he had, outside of George Pickens. But DK is not really, fighting referees on the sideline. So, um, so I think that it depends on situational. I mean, obviously we know what happens if Rodgers is in there, he's going to hyper target his tight ends for some reason, and but again, I think this is a nice game for Metcalf to be productive, no matter what the quarterback situation is. It should be. Buffalo's
It's
defense has been playing, they're flawed at times. So
at times, and they're at Pittsburgh, so it does make me feel better about it. Hopefully he could just catch a downfield target. That'd be nice.
yeah, a little slant route, that basically cuts up the middle and bam, 80 yards gone.
Let's talk about the other options in this game. So the Pittsburgh tight ends, you one of them is going to have a good game. Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Good luck picking which one it's going to be. And I really hope it's Darnell Washington because he's definitely one of our favorite players at this point. So
311-pound tight end. Just put the guy in basically a halfback situation on the 1 yard line. Just let him run the. You know what? Let him take the snap.
Other options for the Bills. So just a quick mention of Kincaid. If Kincaid is back and playing in this game, I'd be petrified of playing him. He's coming back from the hamstring injury. I think he's got one more week in him before he's fully healthy. So I would stay away from that. And there's nobody else on the Bills that I'd be willing to throw in there. I mean, we named everybody. Anybody else for the Steelers you'd take a shot on?
No,
Rodgers if he's playing.
Rodgers if he's playing. Honestly, this is where I'd play Rodgers over Tua if he's playing.
If he's playing. Okay. I don't know if I necessarily disagree with you, but a little bit of ambiguity there. Um, let's go to the next game. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders at the LA Chargers. The Chargers are home favorites and minus 9.5 points. The over-under is 41.5 points.
The battle of the RB1s.
That's right. So let's make a quick point that Chip Kelly was summarily dismissed from the team this past week.
Yep.
So
Michael Myers missed him.
I don't know if that changes how I feel about the offense, and definitely the Vegas line doesn't think that. So let's talk about must starts. You're playing the Chargers defense. They are slated to destroy them, and they are going to. Other must starts for the Chargers: Lad McConkey, Oronde Gadsden, and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert should have a good day in a game that he's scheduled to have a good day. Let's go. Let's actually see it. And by the way, this is the Chargers coming off of a bye week. The week before is the one that they got destroyed by the Chargers 35-3. There's no way that Harbaugh is not going to have them ready to, run through brick walls in this game. Um,
Hmm.
must starts here. So we've got Ashton Jeanty, but he has an injury situation. So
He's healthy.
you think no questions he's going to
No, it's
play?
been declared. Yeah, he's healthy now. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not questionable anymore.
Okay, so then must starts in this game, Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers. And then honestly, what do you check out for the rest of the Raiders? That's it.
That's it.
Okay. So therefore, no probably starts for the Raiders and no general options for the Raiders. But we will point out a probably start here for the Chargers. So we've got Hampton as a probably start. To me, I would be, I think it's just I feel like all the dominoes are lined up, and I'm just waiting for like the shoe to fall to ruin the whole scenario. Like he's gonna come back. They're at home. They're playing the Raiders, a bad team. It should be fine, but everything that they're saying, it's like him and Vidal, and they're gonna snap count and everything. All that noise, you don't care. You're playing Hampton.
I think that's fine. Honestly, I'll take 30%. This is a different situation than Bucky Irving. I'll take 30% with a healthy offense, great quarterback. Take 30% of this guy, if that's what he's going to receive, because he's going to score a touchdown and he's going to have a big run. So I'm looking probably at low end RB2 numbers for him this week. And you're hoping that he gets a flow because he has a really tough matchup back to back weeks. Um, you know,
Okay.
starting the playoff as well too is gonna be rough.
Okay. So therefore, even like if they're splitting it, would you try to get Vidal in again? They're
No,
implied for a lot of points at the Raiders. I mean, playing the Raiders.
no,
Okay.
no. The only player that I would play in the running back room here is Hampton.
Okay. Any love for Keenan Allen or Quentin Johnston?
I think Keenan Allen, he needed that bye week to get back right. So I think that he could see anywhere from 5 to 7 targets like he was early on, and actually doing something with them and potentially being open in the end zone. Not saying he's going to score, but I think he is going to have the opportunity to score. Lad McConkey obviously has been playing great, and it's just looking like old last year end of season Lad right now. But it is nice to have a tenured basically wide receiver that still has chemistry with the quarterback play over there. I do think that it is somebody that I potentially can flex in a half point or full point PPR.
I personally, I mean, we talked about it on however many weeks. Like, I think that Gadsden has usurped whatever otherwise would have been the role for Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen still serves like a very situational thing, but from a volume perspective, I think Gadsden has really cut into that too much. Um,
We'll see.
and my opinion is like, my overall opinion is I kind of don't want to play either of them because, like, I think Lad now has kind of alphaed his way into being the main target there. So Maybe not. Maybe in deeper leagues you could take your shot on Quentin Johnston. Would you rather play Quentin Johnston or Yosivas?
Yoshivas.
Quentin Johnston or Worthy?
None of them.
All
Quentin
right.
Johnson.
All right. I know I keep torturing you with the Worthy thing. Let's go to the next game. We've got the Denver Broncos.
Would you rather play Zay Flowers or Worthy? Worthy. Just kidding.
Zay Flowers must start.
Just kidding.
We got the Denver Broncos at the Washington Commanders. Denver are road favorites, -5.5 points. The over-under there is 43.5 points. Now, this line changed a little bit because they are dangling the carrot of um uh Jaden oh my gosh, the quarterback for the Commanders.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, sorry. Jaden Daniels playing in this game. I think that's not going to happen. I don't think Jaden Daniels plays.
I'm telling you something right now, and I told you this a couple of weeks ago. The NFC East is the darling right now of HBO Hard Knocks, in-season Hard Knocks. They are doing this for speculation. If they bring this guy back with a dislocated elbow for the season, they are destroying their season. Like their season's already gone. Why bring him back? Why?
I
Why
what
ruin this? Why ruin a career?
Bring him back if only if he's fully healthy. I agree with
Don't
that.
know. It just don't do it. Don't do it, guys.
But wait, I gotta stop you with that. Like, if a guy is fully healthy, how can you defend not playing him?
Because they have 3 wins.
So you're saying it's only dependent upon their prospects
They
for the
are not
playoffs.
going anywhere. It just there's no reason to do it.
There's nothing to be said for playing for reps, practice, getting excited, feeling good, like yada, all the intangible stuff. There's nothing to be said about that.
It's a lost season. It's a lost season. He had a really bad, it won't even say he had a good season before he got injured. He was not having a great early season. It just, why bring him back after having 2 big injuries? Why?
Only if he's fully healthy. And I don't think he's fully healthy. So there's you don't have to defend that
Do you
with
feel
me.
the same way? Do you feel the same way about Jackson Dart potentially not playing?
If he's fully healthy, I think he should play. I think he needs the reps, and I think the Giants need it and the whole thing. And like, yes, I do. Now, notwithstanding fantasy implications of Jameis Winston, which we'll get to, but like I think that when players are healthy, they should play. We set a very dangerous precedent when you don't operate like that.
No, I get it, but teams do it. Teams do it. They shut down players for seasons if they're out of it. I mean, honestly, do you really think that Garrett Wilson should have been put on IR? He's shut down for the season. He's not coming back.
I think he should have been IR the first time he got injured, and then he needed to have his proper rest, and then he wouldn't have re-injured himself when he did. That's my opinion. But
Well, we'll see. I mean, because I
anyway.
guarantee he will not come back this year, and he'll be healthy.
Well, anyway, back to this game. Regardless, I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to play in this
No,
game. And it actually, to me, I don't know how much it would have mattered. You're still playing the Broncos defense. Must start. You're also must start in, Ryan Har. I always say Ryan Harvey. It's the baseball player.
RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey. Um, Probably starts in this game. I think both Sutton and Franklin are probably starts in this game against a porous Washington defense. I think you could be just fine with both of them. And also by that logic, Bo Nix coming off the bye week, it's a lot of up and down with him, but I don't know how he could be set up more for success. But we've seen this before. He had the Raiders at home, but like he's had times when he's had the ability, but you have to trust the process. You have to be able to call it out. They're slated to win this game to put up some points. You could roll with Bo Nix. We only got one probably start in this game for Washington, and Tommy, I don't feel good about it. Are you? It's Deebo Samuel. Do you feel better about it than I do?
I feel like you have to play him. He's been somewhat productive, and he's pretty much the face of that offense. He's even in bad weeks, he's being productive. So I'll take the 10 points from him, in an off week. 10 points basically is wide receiver three. That's pretty much where you drafted him. It's not where you've been playing him. But you should have some other options surrounding that, so he could be a viable, flex play, when and if needed.
Okay, all right. I'm hoping that he keeps it going. Let's hope so. It's a difficult matchup. They are home though. Oh, by
They're
the way,
home against Denver. Denver is a tough defense. But I think that he's still going to get, play. He's still going to get his plays.
is McLaurin going to play in this game?
There's a lot of talk about that too.
Okay. Is this the HBO thing that you're?
Yeah, it's some head, shoulders, knees, and toes kind of thing going on.
All right. Do you think he plays in the game?
No,
Okay. If he plays in the game, I think it actually helps Debo personally, but
I don't think it helps him at all.
okay. Let's go to other options here. Denver, we named everybody. There's really nothing left to talk about. Don't play Ingram. But Washington, uh, like the running back thing. So, we identified Rodriguez as a good pickup. We think he's going to be the lead guy for Washington going forward, amazingly.
Yeah, but
But
this is
we
a
wouldn't
tough
do it
week.
here. Yeah, we wouldn't
Yeah.
do it here. Um, but maybe we'll get surprised, Tommy. Like I wouldn't put him in, but hopefully we're excited to see some stuff out of him.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Chris Rodriguez basically he does roll into the end zone when unexpected. So, this could be an unexpected touchdown week, and then next week could be a very highly productive week. So, he could pretty much get you your 10 to 11 points, and that's what you might need out of him.
maybe.
So,
Um, other guys to talk about for Washington. Ertz is an emergency tight end. If you really want to do it, go for it. But Mariota here, he's a good streaming option in general. But I think this is a brick wall. This is one that I'm not willing to throw him in for. Like I had an option to grab him or Tua, and I'm looking at the matchups, and I'm like, I don't want to put anybody at playing Denver. I really don't.
well, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying there, but honestly, if we look at it from this perspective, Denver does not do well against rushing quarterbacks. So, you know, you got a rushing quarterback in Mariota. You had a rushing quarterback against against when they were the Giants against Jackson Dart.
This is
Um,
this is fair.
so, I will say there are you have to put that in perspective because, scrambling is one thing, getting open by scrambling is another thing as well too. Opening the play, giving more time to throw the ball. And if you're able to do that, and if he's able to do that against the Denver's defense, it could open up some fantasy points there. So I don't think he is somebody that I'd feel comfortable with streaming. But if you were in a pinch and let's just say this is a super flex league, I'd feel maybe comfortable, put him in as a super flex.
Yeah, and we should give him a little credit. He's performed every time, basically, that he's been
Mhm.
asked to do this. So I'm being a little bit cautious there, but streaming option enough if you believe the narrative that he can hold it up, especially with some of his rushing work. And
QB 13 against Detroit, QB 9 against Miami, and now he had a bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare for Denver.
this is a fair point. That maybe I'll reassess. I still think Tua is perfectly fine, but I'll reassess that. Um, so there we go. Let's go to the final game of Thanksgiving weekend. We've got the New York Football Giants at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are home favorites, minus seven and
Super
a half points.
Bowl, two-time Super Bowl matchup.
That's right. Yep. And it's going to be so like that in this game.
So not.
Over under there is 46 and a half points. So Tommy, what's the latest news? Is Dark going to play or is it Jameis?
I hope it's Jameis.
I know, but I think it's going to be Dart. I
Yeah, I
do.
think so too. Dart, he logged multiple full practices this week. So it looks like Dart's gonna play. And honestly, I think if Dart plays, then Isaiah Hodgins goes bye-bye,
Yep.
and Theo Johnson goes hello, I'm back,
I agree.
and
And when Wandale
Wandell,
stays the same, I think.
and then Singletary rolls himself into the end zone.
We'll get to that. Must starts in this game. Listen, you're playing Travion Henderson. He's the better play than Stevenson. Like we pointed out, Stevenson's just going to be a real thorn in the Henderson owner sides. But you got to roll with Henderson here in a game where they're this much favored over the Giants. Tight end, you're playing. Must start Hunter Henry. Let's go, and you're must start Drake May. I mean, the second in the MVP voting thus far throughout the year. I think Stafford's going to run away with it, but Drake May is having a really good year. No must starts for the Giants. Probably starts. We got the Patriots as a probably start. Honestly, I respect both Jameis and Dart a little bit too much to go to the line. Otherwise, I would have had them as a clear must start defense. Do you agree with that? I think the Giants could make this competitive.
Giants can make this competitive, and they will make this competitive. It is Monday Night Football, especially if Dart's out there. Um,
I
the
think
lights are shining.
even if it was Jameis.
Well, yeah, if Jameis was there, but Jameis, we've all seen Jameis under the lights, go 30 for 30. So,
which would be so exciting. Anyway,
yeah.
the Patriots probably start. Check your options, see if you got other options there. Probably starts for the Giants. Wan'Dale Robinson, you can't deny what he's been doing, especially in PPR leagues. And I don't care if it's Dart or Winston. I think if it's Dart, maybe a slight decrease, but still, you probably start. You kind of try to get him in there. But Theo Johnson, another probably start. If it starts, slight upgrade, but still, definitely Judge Robson having good probably start. He's such a good athlete at the tight end position. Other options here. Yeah, go ahead, Tommy. Try to sell me on Tracy and Singletary.
Um, it's still a 50-50 split. It's just gonna happen. I mean, I do think Singletary is going to have the opportunity to um, you know, gain touches off of Tracy, but Tracy's gonna be still more receptive into the pass catching game. So I think in PPR, full point PPR, Tracy wins that right there. But I think in a half point PPR to standard league, you're gonna find Singletary kind of being very close in production. And I think really, like I've been talking about it, Singletary is their goal line guy. He's going to have the opportunity. And especially if Dart's in there, I think that they kind of ease off a little bit of him running the ball. But teams will still be, prone to watch it and have a QB spy on it, where it gives a little bit more of an open window for Singletary to score a touchdown.
Who would you rather play? First of all, who would you rather play between them, Tyrone Tracy or Devin Singletary?
Like I said, it's just situational. It depends on the point system. If it's half point or standard, I'm playing Singletary.
Really?
If it's full point, I'm playing what you call it, Tracy.
All right, let's say half point, half point. Would you play Singletary or Charbonnet? Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question, but I'm still playing Singletary.
Okay. Okay. Um,
The Patriots defense has, uh, you know, they've gotten slightly injured the past couple weeks, especially in the front. And I feel a little bit more confident there because of the situation, and also Minnesota's defense is still fairly good, in their front. So,
okay. Let's talk some
yeah.
other options for the Patriots. So this one's aggravating to me. I mean, it happened a couple weeks in a row. We finally put Diggs in as a must start, and then he completely failed, fell on his face. It was completely aggravating against the Bengals. Like,
Let me put it
it,
this way: Diggs is a must start.
okay, all right. For anybody who didn't hear that, because it might not have shown up on there, he's being sarcastic, so he isn't. But I mean, for that logic,
But that means he's going to blow up.
he might just have a big game. But I think this has gone back now to the Patriots situation where Diggs, Boutte, Douglas, Hollins. I mean, any one of these guys could blow up. I mean, I think it's going to be Diggs. If I had to take a bet on it, I would say Diggs, but maybe not. Like maybe he's just spinning the roulette wheel. So I think this is us saying in a game where their implied points total is 27 just on the Vegas line, where it could be a competitive game. They could have to throw the ball. I would take the shot on Diggs, but it just aggravated me so much that like I recognize that it's a bit of a roulette. You guys can take your bets as you take them. Um, Really, the only other guy to talk about, Tommy, is just the giant quarterback thing. So whether it's Jameis or like, give me both scenarios. Jameis or Dart are both streaming options this week.
I think they're both streaming options this week for sure.
Okay. Would you
I
play them?
mean,
Would you play
I
either
th
one of them over Trevor Lawrence?
I I would go for a Monday Night Miracle with Jameis Winston. Uh, but honestly, based on the situation, I don't think I'm gonna get what I want here, and that's for Dart to basically rest the rest of the season, or come back week 15, since they have to play. But I think it's Jameis is not going to play this week, and I do think it's not bright. With a concussions can relapse. Especially with the player that decides to lead with his head and, run, crazily.
Well,
So,
supposedly he's going to change that. There was a whole
well,
business on
give it
that the
another
last
week.
couple of weeks.
Yeah, give it another week. They have the bye week next week.
Well, Jameis Winston, I think, is perfectly fine as a streamer too. Jameis Winston, who
100%.
finished as the number one quarterback last week. But I agree. I think Dart's a perfectly fine streamer too. I mean, his rushing really helps that along. I mean, we tried to doubt him so many different times throughout the season. You too. Like no matter you threw your Giants fandom out the window and you tried to assess it objectively. There was a couple of games in there we were like, we were worried about it, we were worried about it, and he came right through. So
Yeah.
if he's in there, I think he's
And
a
that
real
was
good streaming
Denver.
option.
That was Denver's game too.
That was Denver. There was another game in there. It was Philadelphia. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
like, don't doubt him. I think
Yep.
both are good streaming options. Should you need it. Um, yeah, so there we go. If do you think the like put it this way? I don't know if you're going to say the Giants win that game, but you do think that they're going to stay competitive. Tell me you're
Uh,
going to think that they're going to win the game.
no, I mean they've given me so much hope watching the games, and then just in the split of an eye, basically they lose the game. It
Yes.
seems kind of weird.
Well,
But
higher and higher draft picks then
the
for you.
defense that well, the defensive coordinator got fired this past week, so
Yes, he did. We didn't mention that. Yes.
maybe the team plays better.
Maybe, maybe. So there we go. That is the slate of Thanksgiving week football games. And just a reminder, all of our must starts and probably starts will be posted in the description of this episode's video on YouTube. So please check us out there.
Yep.
Closing thoughts, Mr. Lang?
Yeah, if you could please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We truly appreciate everybody that tunes in and watches our full videos. Again, we'll be dropping all these shorts, and Billy will be covering Sunday Live this week on TikTok.
Sunday Live. And just a very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving to all of you guys. Thank you guys.
Yep, enjoy the parade.
Thank you guys.